Hello, my fabulous students. I just want to quickly say thank you again for signing up for another fun Demo Donna Design Studio card kits. This is the Reindeer Surprise featuring some new dies, existing dies, and other fabulous products from Pink and Main. I will be linking everything that I used in this video so you can go and make some purchases if you want to add to your stash at Pink and Main. Make sure you use code DEMODONNA, all one word, and you will receive a free gift for your order. And let's get right to the card, shall we? Okay, I've already gone ahead and separated my two kits. So you are going to get a little baggie that has your tiny pieces in as well as your confetti pieces. So I pulled my confetti pieces out separate and then separated the small pieces. So you're going to get 2 feet, 2 eyes, 2 little antlers, and 2 inside the ears. And everything else that was 2 of each. Separate that and then set this aside for card number 2. And then the 2 items that you will be using for both cards are these 2 pieces here. Okay. So to get started, to get the fun started, we are going to head on over here and we are going to glue these 2 pieces together. So I love this die. There are, I believe, 3 different versions of this. So there's circle, there is, looking for my glue, there we go. There's circles, there is a mini slimline, and then this rectangle one. And they are so fun, the scalloped background. And again, I will link that description. I will link that item into, maybe I'll do it this way. All right. So what you want to make sure when you go to glue this, they're exactly the same. So you want to flip flop. So you've got a circle on one side and a circle on the other. So therefore they go every other and you get that really fun rotating background. All right. There we go. And now I am going to line this up, and you want to use your wet glue so you have some time to move this around. There we go. There we go. Okay. And I don't want to stick my hands in all my glue, but that so far is what my background looks like. I'm also going to go ahead and fold my card base. I said for those of you that have a bone folder, you can use that. I just go old school and I match up my 2 ends and then use my finger tool followed by my fingernails, and then I have created my base here. So I can even now glue those together. Getting this party started, everybody. Okay, love. I hope you checked out the die set that this cute little reindeer came with, because there's also an adorable elf. So cute. All right, I'm laying that down. And now I have my card base ready to go, which looks kind of weird now. I get it. Okay, let's scoot these guys aside. There we go. And we are gonna do that fun technique, that snow technique. If you have a tweezer tool, you can use it. If you don't have a tweezer tool, you can actually hold this on one end, heat it up, and then turn it over and do the other end. So I am going to take a little pinch of the sample of that super thick embossing powder that you got in your kit, and I'm sprinkling that all around. And remember, your reindeer is going to be right here, so you don't really have to focus too much on like the center. So I just want to get a good amount going all around pretty much the top and the edges. There we go. Now I'm going to grab my heat tool and I am heating from underneath. And you will see them go from like chunky pieces, kind of like thick, coarse salt, to smooth, round circles, which create like a really beautiful snowfall look. And don't get too close to your paper because you can burn your paper, and be aware of where your fingers are. So for those that don't have a tweezer tool, this is when you can turn it around and heat the other end. And once they start to melt, you can move on to the next section. So you don't have to cook them till eternity, because then you can just come on top of your page, and some of them blew away. Some weren't melted, but that's okay. I just have a couple little pieces. And then I'm done. So if I want to go in and add some more, I can. For me, like covering that up, I still see a really pretty snowfall around here. So I am really happy with the way that turned out. Just want to let you know too, you can also add glitter. You can use some of the beautiful like stardust or ice rink by just taking your fine glue and doing extra drops around and adding some glitter to it. That's just a little add-on that you can do if you want for like a sparkly snowfall as well. Options, everyone likes options. Okay, let's build our cute little reindeer who is adorable. These guys are gonna go over here. I need my reindeer guys. So you have your little antlers. You are gonna take your coffee filter, and we are gonna grab this protective layer off, and that is a super adhesive tape. Peel that off. And the reason I went with white is because I wanted it to look like, you know, when they're getting their new fuzzy antlers, or if I did a brown underneath it, the brown on the brown would look very solid. So I wanted it to look kind of patchy, like a real reindeer, you know, like Rudolph really looks like in real life. Okay, so you're gonna sprinkle your little sample out, which will be enough for your 2 cards. Once you've got the flocking on, you're just going to rub that all around. And flocking, like glitter, you need an adhesive for. So I need to use either a glue or a easy tear tape, something that has adhesive on it. Okay, once I've got that all stuck on, I am now going to take my finger tools again and kind of wipe off anything that's just sitting there and not stuck on. So I'm going to do that to my first one, and then I'm going to do that to my second one. I love that I've got some embossing powder chunks in here. You just never know what you're gonna get on my table. Okay, then you can take your cleanup brush, give that a good wipe. Sometimes I flip it over and wipe the back. All while wiping my fingers too. And now I've got my 2 little antlers. I'm gonna put that away. And that flocking that I used is Pink and Main Cashmere. So fun. And that is it for the embossing powder and flocking portion of this show. We are gonna add our antlers. My little reindeer, I cut these antlers off a little bit on the top, but it's fine because that's gonna be covered up. So just in case, well, it helps if you put them on the right one. That's why it's nice that these actually have a placeholder. So there are those cute little antlers. Now I've got, these ears do have a certain orientation. So hopefully I got, oh good. I did one going one direction, one going another. And I'm just gonna do a little glue dot on each side. Grab my pickup tool and that soft pink. And then I'm gonna do a little dot for the eyes. And we've got one eyeball here, one eyeball there. Flip them over if you can. Flip over, there we go. All right, and you've got the point goes on the top and the round part goes on the bottom. And I will hold that up to show you. And they kind of droop in just a little bit. Not that much. Just a tiny bit. All right, so you see you've got that point at the top and the round, so your raindrop look, which is very cute. Now something that's optional, you do not have to do this, and I find the B, you guys know where this came from, is the perfect pen for this. You can draw in his little mouth or not. I kind of like it. It makes him pop a little bit more. All right, I am now gonna take his cute little nose, so adorable, and just drop that on. Try to center it, we'll see. Then his cute little hooves. They're hooves, right? Okay, good, I got the right ones here too. I'm like, oh no, I don't even think I checked. I just grabbed two of everything. And this even has a little placeholder here as well. So you can see there's a little indent right there. So there is a left and a right hoof. Hoof. I'm new to the deer world. All right, so that guy is now all good. Now, an option, you can make his hooves shiny if you'd like. There are two different ways to do that. You can use touch of gloss, or you can just take your glue and go over your hooves, and that will dry shiny. And I'm just kind of pushing it around at this point. I'm not really putting any more glue on. And I don't have any fans in this room, so the drying time will probably be longer than this live. It does dry pretty quick, but when you apply it thicker like this might take like 20 minutes to dry. I'm just gonna wipe the glue off those two little spots. Okay, so that is currently wet, but when it's dry, it'll have that nice light gloss. And again, another alternative is touch of gloss for that as well. Okay, we will set him up there in hopes that he does not, that I don't put anything on him. So put him away. Oh, now that this is done, we can glue these two together now, so we don't have to look at our weird glitter paper. So I'm adding my glue. And this fits perfectly. It's the same, it's the die that comes with this set. So it fits perfectly right over. There we go. And that is your adorable card base. That beautiful red and white. And then that fun starry background. All right, we are gonna create our chimney. So you have a piece going this way or a piece going that way. And here is our little chimney here. And we are gonna go ahead and cut this to match. So this, I'm gonna probably cut like a 1/4 inch smaller. And my other more famous cutter is in the other room. So I think this is 2 1/4. So this is currently, this needs to come down to 2 1/4. Is that right? You know, what a great demo video. You're like, what is happening, Demo Donna? Okay. So this is just a little smaller than, this is a little bit more than 2 1/2. Sorry, then 2 1/4. Okay, I got it. So I want to just shorten this. We'll just go to 2 1/2. You have to do cutting too, so you know this is important. 2 1/2, and then we'll do, I think this is 5. So we'll just cut this in half, 5 1/2. So I think I'm gonna do 2 1/2 as well. Sorry, believe it or not, I brought my ruler out to measure this and then just got so excited to start filming the video that I didn't measure my chimney. Let's do a test. Oh yeah, that is perfect. Oh, I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter. A little shorter because you don't want your reindeer's antlers sticking up off your card. So I am gonna go, that is 2 1/4. I'm gonna do 2 1/4. So this is now 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. So 2 1/2 long ways by 2 1/4 height. So it's kind of a little shorter squatter chimney. Squattier. Okay, it's kind of difficult to see, and I don't even know if this step is 100% necessary, but I did do some inking to kind of make it look a little bit more like an outdoor chimney. So I put on, you know, optional, you can add some inks. I think I'm just gonna do a little gray. I don't think I need the red. You can also do brown, but I'm just gonna go over my edging just like that. Just add a little. And again, you don't need much because you're gonna put that big, beautiful wreath over it. So that is pretty much gonna be it. I'm just adding a little antiquing to it. Okay, now that that is done, we are going to build our wreath and build our bow. So you get 2 of these little green circles. That is what we are gonna glue our wreath on. Now for the fun part, you're gonna take your big giant wreath and you are gonna take your scissors and you are just gonna cut this into a few smaller sections. And I'm just kind of finding like a natural cut spot. So like a thin little branch between the two. Like I'm trying not to cut where these big thick spaces are, but instead where these like little thin branches are. I'm gonna go right there. So I'm cutting like maybe 1-inch pieces. This one I'm cutting kind of smaller because there's this thick piece up until we get to here. But you'll have plenty of pieces to create your wreath and even add a little filler. I'll make these guys too as well. There we go. All right, so once you got that done, you are gonna start putting your wreath together. And I want my leaves to curl up. I only want to be gluing on that center. So I am gonna take my glue and I'm just gonna glue the center of the wreath to my circle. And I'm gonna work my way all the way around. In fact, I might even stick just some glue here so I don't get it all over my hands. I mean, chances are it's gonna show up there anyways, but okay, perfect. Add another layer. Actually, I'm gonna save those small pieces for last if I wanna fill those in. So I'm gonna grab my larger pieces first. Okay, and then add some more glue. folding up the leaves and placing that down. Folding up the leaves and placing that down. And then this piece, I think I'm going to do a little overlap here because this looks a little, doesn't have enough foliage happening. Needs a little add-on. Maybe we'll do another one up here. This is where your little pieces you can just add on for a little extra foliage. It looks like that's like exactly the same. Okay, I think I'm gonna do one more here. Just because I've got a little gap here, so I'm gonna just add that to kind of connect. All right, I'm good. So I have one piece left. You could put that on your other one if you want. Okay, this guy is gonna go on my chimney, but before we do that, we are gonna find us some snow. So I added this piece, and I also added some stamped images. I personally like it without. I had my little stamped image cut out over here, but I must have tossed it in my bin. But you can add a Happy Christmas even to the inside of your card if you want. So I just stamped out a couple options if that's what you wanted to do. But if not, no biggie. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. So I kind of rounded that, excuse me, cut along that line, and then I'm gonna round it again. And I don't love my rounding, so I'm gonna round it a little bit more. There we go. So round and round. And that's gonna be good. It's a little big. All right, I think I'm gonna chop off this guy. So again, I'm gonna just go round. Just like that. Great. So now I'm going to layer that on the top of my chimney there. And you've got the lines from your bricks to follow along with. And you could pop that up. I popped it up in my original card and didn't pop it up here. So you can add some foam tape to lift it up. I'm just using my fingernail tool and kind of fluffing that up a little bit for some texture. It's like a cheat trick if you don't have foam tape, but you still want that lift. Also, this is a great opportunity if you want to add some glitter. You can add some ice rink or some stardust or some flocking with glitter in it. Really pretty to make that snow look nice and sparkly. Okay, we are going to glue on our wreath. So I'm just following that circle. Let's see, I think we're going to go right about there. So you see you get your wreath. It's kind of hanging a little bit off my chimney and going a little bit onto the snow, and that is okay. All right, we will set those guys aside. Again, this is when you can cut out one of your Happy Christmases if you want a Happy Christmas anywhere on the front of your card. We are gonna make our bow next. You can use any round tool that you have. If it's a pen, if it's your pickup tool, anything you have lying around, it really helps soften up the paper to make that bow form. There we go. And then you're gonna take your glue. This is gonna require a little bit of holding. So you're gonna squish that down and actually have to hold that for a minute. This is when my patients are like, what? I have to be patient? Okay, I actually just added in that second one so I could hold them down together and let that dry. You can blow on it a little bit, speed up the drying process. Now you do have a center for your bow. I think it's kind of optional to use it, so it's up to you. I'm going to use it. Still holding. You know, if those tweezers shut, I could use my tweezers. But at least you know it's not just you. You have to wait to let that dry. It's trying my patience, everybody. You see this, right? Okay. While that's doing that, I am going to glue on my little bow tails. Yours is probably already dry, and mine's just being mean to me. So I'm going to glue on my little bow tails, if I could pick them up with my one hand. I am curling these tails, popping up again for a little added extra texture. Gluing that down. All right, next, I'm going to take this guy. More glue and glitter and glue. When you're trying to glue paper that's glittery, sometimes it fights you. So that's all that's happening here. So we are going to do this. Then we're going to wrap that around. And I'm going to wrap it around again. And then I'm going to fold in that little piece. And yes, I have some glue squeaking out, but that's okay. And now I'm going to grab a little piece of foam and stick it right there. And I am going to pop up my bow. All while still trying to hold this dry. I know. I'm not kidding when I say I don't have patience for waiting for things to dry. All right, that is good. Glue that in there. That takes place of my fingers holding that. And there's your cute little bow on your chimney. Okay, we are now going to stick this guy down here. And I'm going to use my double-sided foam for that as well. There we go. There we go. Look at our little feet might be dry by the time we're done. Okay. I don't want to push too hard because my bow is still drying on the other side. There we go. I'm going to set that right about there. Push down with my fingernail tools. And then you could go get your adorable little sequin. So I'm going to actually follow exactly what I did here. So we are going to go red, white, red, white, and red, and white. There we go. Now another option, I don't know if you could see the texture here, but I took my glue again and I just kind of zigzagged around here to create a little bit more texture on my wreath. So you could totally do that. I'm not going to do it here because I want you to see how pretty the card is when it's all done, and it'll all be done in a second. And all you'll see is glue. We don't want that. Okay, I'm going to do those 2 foam. There we go. And we are going to take our cute reindeer that's almost dry. I'm going to pop up his little antlers and find a spot for him. So cute. All right. There you go, you guys. Again, you have the option of cutting out a little Happy Christmas and adding that here, or you could keep it just the way it is. Thank you so much for joining me, and please comment below if you enjoyed this class, or if you have any questions, or if you learned something new. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.